Parks.
Right now in Springfield, some light fog and some mist making for a cold and damp evening across the area. And as we look off to the south in the Branson area, as we look toward the landing, we can see that the roads are glistening. Again, that's because we have a fine mist out there falling, at least in Springfield and Branson, and I think in other areas as well, although maybe not being reported. As far as the fog situation tonight, so far dense fog advisories are for areas well to our west: Nebraska, Kansas, Oklahoma, back into Texas. But I wouldn't be surprised if part of our area doesn't get put under a dense fog advisory later on tonight. So that's going to be one aspect of the forecast. Another aspect of the forecast is this storm right here. Boy, that one stands out, that big swirl right there on the California coastline. That one is a pattern changer. That one will change our pattern for the second half of this week. Let's focus in on the short term. And right now, again, if you were out and about today, you noticed we didn't see any sunshine. Clouds locked in, cold temperatures locked in. And because we weren't able to clear out the cloud cover, we weren't able to warm up the temperatures. And I think this is the exact same scenario that we're going to find on Monday as well. Looking at our forecast overnight tonight, it stays cloudy. There'll be some fog out there, probably a mist in a lot of locations as well. We'll shake a lot of that off, I think, by mid-morning across the area, but we're going to hold on to cloudy skies through the afternoon. And that means, like today, temperatures are not going to move very much on Monday. Looks like overnight temperatures kind of holding steady right about where they are. Here in Springfield, 39 or 40 for an overnight low. And then as far as the fog situation, I think areas here along and south of the interstate, this is where we have the highest chance for dense fog. And also maybe that possibility extending to the north as well, north of Highway 54. Areas further west still could find some light fog and mist, but I think visibilities are generally going to be better in those locations. As far as temperatures on Monday, as I said, we're going to be sort of stuck. Looks like highs across the area in the low to mid 40s, so another maybe coat kind of day. It looks like about 44 for a high. We've got that powerful storm on the west coast right now. It moves into the middle of the country by Tuesday. Severe weather certainly possible with this storm system to our south. It looks like instability is just not going to be able to get into our area, or at least not sufficiently into our area for severe weather. But this storm's still going to pack a punch. It will be a little warmer. It's going to be windy, gusts over 40 miles per hour. In fact, there's a possibility that we could have gusts approaching 50 miles per hour. But again, not expecting any severe weather, but there will be a good soaking again with this storm system. On Tuesday, it looks like by Tuesday morning, by the time you're heading into work, we're already going to have showers in the area, but there's going to be a main band associated with this storm of heavier rain. And I think from, say, morning through noon, it's going to tend to be west of Highway 65. By lunchtime, it'll be located right along Highway 65, and then as we work through the afternoon, it will push east of Highway 65 and eventually east of Highway 63 as we work through late afternoon. And again, looking at some heavy rainfall with this storm. I mean, we've seen waves of it, haven't we? Looks like everybody will get a good soaking. Lighter amounts to the north of the interstate, though, 1/4 to 3/4 inches of an inch of rain expected in those locations. Along and south of the interstate, I think 3/4 of an inch to maybe as much as 1.5 inches off to the southeast. Highs on Tuesday, that's not looking too bad. 56 for a high, but again, it will be windy. And in the wake of that storm, as I said, it will change the pattern. We've got a ridge extending up into Alaska. We've got a ridge extending up toward Greenland. And that is going to cause cold air to get bottled up here across the United States. In fact, it looks like we could be looking at a coast-to-coast cold pattern. And the result will be this. After highs in the 50s on Tuesday, looks like highs in the 30s starting Thursday and lasting through this upcoming weekend. And Mike, I think that cold pattern will likely continue through the week leading up to Christmas, all the way through Christmas weekend.
Yeah, because looking at some of those overnights down in the teens, I mean, we've not seen that in a few days, thankfully.
Yeah, and you know, so far the pattern in December, it certainly hasn't been warm. It's just been a little warmer than normal. Right. We're actually going to start finding some colder than normal conditions developing later this week.
Tuesday, our high spot. All right, thanks, Jamie.